just wanna live and dream, but nothing is as what it seems. And baby, it's making me crazy. I just wanna fight and scream. There's nothing left for me to say. Fear shot to defeat the day. I know that I can control it, so it doesn't have to be this way.
I'm really sick of living, stuck and trapped in the system. You're just a brick in the wall, and I got my back up against it. I represent the resistance, they want me back up in prison. But I'm the master of my path, and I won't slack on my mission. You're lacking the vision, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase. They hide the truth in plain view, right in front of your face. I used to think the world was normal, but that wasn't the case. We're just some goyim on a hamster wheel, running in place. Turn up the bass, I grab the microphone and all I do is rock it. This little light of mine, I let it shine and you can't stop it. But there's nothing these corporations just won't do for profit. This fake ass world that we live in is sick, it's truly toxic. If you don't see it that way, okay then keep talking. Don't bump into that wall while you're sleepwalking. The alarm is going off, I hear it beep often. I'm at the double doors of truth, I'm gonna keep knocking.
I just want to live and dream, but nothing is as what it seems. And baby, it's making me crazy. I just want to fight and scream. There's nothing left for me to say. Fear shot to defeat the day. I know that I can control it, so it doesn't have to be this way.
I refuse to just go quietly into the night. There's forces of darkness at work and they're restricting the light. I'm so fed up with the lies they tell us this isn't right. It's ODD TV, you best believe I'll get up and fight. This is my plight, I'll never let you cowards get the best of me. Took the red pill, now it's time to fulfill my destiny. Living like I'm Neo, dipping from my P.O. Tripping on me cause I am the one and he's a zero. Hot like a jalapeno, bringing heat that you just can't avoid. I call out bullshit and lies, they call me paranoid. People are just foolish, full of hate, they get angry. Point out the truth about reality, they label you crazy. Just a glitch in the system, you're a critical thinker. And no, they don't want that. Fuck them, give them the finger. I do it every single day with each and everything I say. I'm not living like a victim, it doesn't have to be this way.
I just wanna live and dream, but nothing is as what it seems. And baby, it's making me crazy. I just wanna fight and scream. There's nothing left for me to say. Fear shot to defeat the day. I know that I can control it, so it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. Doesn't have to be this way.
All right, what is going on, everyone? Steve JMO and the Truth Seeker 69. It's 3/20/2020. So there's that for you. How are we doing tonight, Jen?
I'm better. Got some food in me and got a few things done around here. And just keep hearing strange things from my cousins and stuff up north. They're talking about people are having barbecues, acting like this is just, kind of in the area, acting like this is just a little mini vacation kind of thing, trying to make the best of it, I guess, but they have no clue what's going on, what's really going on here.
No, they all think this is just a pandemic that's going to come and go, and there's actually nothing really happening. No one's really getting sick, but what's happening behind the scenes and what repercussions are of this alleged virus and laws and actions put into place by our elect officials are the repercussions are what worries me and what has been troubling all of us all day on, that bunch of different levels and whatnot. So it's just frustrating that everything that they have, done with this whole virus thing, this whole scam is just like affecting everyone, not just like financially, but like also like personally. And it's getting like really, really, really tight, and people just don't really know the full aspect of what's really happening because of this virus. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to, cancel life. Well, you can't cancel life. People have lives. They're trapped in their homes. They're, trying to make the best of the situation, and life's still going on around us. People get sick from natural causes. People die from natural causes. There's still things that are happening in life that are beyond our control that have nothing to do with coronavirus. And Steve, you had it hit you personally earlier.
Yeah, big time. Freaking big time. So like we were streaming on your end, and normally no one interrupts me during my streams. It's people know what's up, and if someone comes upstairs, usually someone's here or something's happened, but rarely ever does my mother come up the stairs. First of all, rarely would my mother ever interrupt the live stream because she knows what's going on, but she comes upstairs in tears. So I just, gave you the 1 minute thing, went off camera. I didn't know what was going on. And I go downstairs, and my uncle, who's been in the hospital for the past couple of weeks, he has like a bunch of fluid built up in his lungs and has nothing in the world to do with coronavirus. He's just, he hasn't lived well his whole life, and, it catches up after a while. That's what years of not taking care of the temple does to you. It builds a toxic inside you that can't be defeated, so there's that for you. But so yeah, she's in tears, and I didn't really know what was going on at first. All I knew is that someone got a phone call somewhere that something has happened, and it looks like he was on his last legs or whatever. So everyone was like panicking and freaking out, and this is before I knew what really happened. So there's telling me that no one can go see him because of the guidelines that Trump put in yesterday. Only, officials and select people can be in hospitals and gather at places at a time. So, so my uncle had an episode happen where they had to call my aunt. My aunt calls my mom, and they're trying to go see him. And they're like, yeah, if you came down here, you wouldn't be able to see him anyways. And she's like, you just called me and said that something traumatic has happened, and we can't go see him because he might be on his last limbs. And what exactly happened, I didn't know this at the time, but apparently my aunt gets a phone call from the hospital, and they're saying, what's it called when you get the pads or whatever,
Oh yeah, they tried to resuscitating him using the paddles, the electric shock to the heart.
Whatever that specific term is, they said they tried it once, and he didn't come back, and they pretty much just said, good luck, you really can't come see him. And how well do you think, what do you think that does to someone? That creates chaos, and that's exactly what these people do. And they're using this to just create more pandemonium. And, it could have been anyone, but the lack of respect that they have for just a simple human life, is just staggering. They call someone saying that, hey, we tried the paddles, it didn't work, and you can't come see him. What?
And what happened at this point? I mean, life is canceled. And, now there's funeral arrangements that need to be made and all this stuff like that. What exactly is going to happen here? You know what I mean? I mean, this is things that people don't even want to deal with to begin with. But now to think like, okay, well, now we can't even proceed normally how we would when somebody passes away close to us. And this just leaves things up in the air. Well, he passed away. You're on quarantine, so you're just going to have to deal with it.
Good luck. Yeah, that's pretty much how they brought it on. And the ridiculous part was like that they wouldn't let my mother and my aunt go see him. So just, out of the goodwill of God, we had one of my mother's friends is like high up in the medical field. She like sells certain sanitary products or something. I don't really know what she does, but she has like connections to people at the hospital that he was staying at. So she had to make a call to her boss to call the hospital, and they got clearance for 2 people. So my mother, my aunt, and my uncle went down. I don't know if they let my uncle in or not, his other brother, and because my mom's his sister and my aunt is married to my other uncle, and they said 2 of them can go down. And shortly after they got there, my mother texted me saying, is there any last words you want to say to Uncle Gary? And just like, yo, like what? And I'm just like, how they knew that he was, yeah, the defibrillator, exactly. They hit him with that, and they knew that he wasn't coming back, and yet they're gonna tell people you can't come in because of this whole coronavirus thing. Like, what are you talking about? This dude just passed away. Like, you gotta let the people who are closest to him, his family members, come in. But since you can't have gatherings more than X amount of people, that's just out the window. So like, like it could have been anyone in there, but the fact it was like my uncle and stuff just like makes me even more fired up. But the lack of respect for human life these people have. They hit you with the defibrillator. They call you. They call your wife, your loved one, your companion, telling you that he's probably not coming back, and you can't come down due to the new guidelines. Like, what sense does that even mean, man? It doesn't make any sense. This is whole backwards. Like this whole scenario is backwards. And then there's people on the other end of the spectrum who are like, stay inside and just do what the government's telling you to do. And I'm like, no, 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 no. That's what they want. That's exactly what they want, man. It's just disheartening. And then they have the other fucking people who are just throwing disinformation out there, telling you it's Q, telling you that this is just to round up all of the Democrats and get them in on board on this. Like, no, no, no. This is all about singularity. This is all about bringing all the elect officials together under a new guidelines, under a one system guidelines. It's all about singularity. And like you were talking about, there could be a possible altercation with China on the ground with the boots and the uniforms looking different, but behind the scenes, it's just going to be one big government, and it's going to be civil war under the guidelines of an NWO type deal. Because China and USA, they're going to merge together. Either China flops on us, or we're going to flop to China. Either way, after this, it's going to be one type deal, and it's going to be a tight system. It's just ridiculous, dude, how they just throw this whole corona thing out there, and then they put life on pause, 15 days of whatever. But what if you have someone who's like in the hospital or on their last limbs, and they just happen to pass away during this time? Like, how's a funeral supposed to work if you can't have more than 5 or 10 people at a gathering? How is that supposed to even be a thing? And then at the same time, it's like, I'm hearing other people or things like, you can do something like where just 2 or 3 members of the immediate family are there, a pastor, and then you could like fucking live stream the funeral, have a Skype session with your family. Like, how stupid is that, man? We're going to be watching funerals on the TV. Is that the new norm? This is the new norm we're talking about, where people are going to die and they're just not going to tell you about it? That's what it seemed like they were trying to do. They were just like, yeah, we hit him with the thing. It didn't work, but you can come collect his shoes in a couple of days or something. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And then this is the really stupid thing, is like they're locking down hospitals to only see people who are infected with COVID-19, the fake pandemic thing. But yet no one's actually infected. Like, Brian went to the hot doctor yesterday, got denied again, and then went, looking at all the rooms, and there's no one even in there. So that's what they're doing. They don't want you to bring people down there because they don't want you to see that the hospitals are actually empty.
Yes, guys, absolutely 100%.
And I know this is a little off topic. This is a different angle, but I was listening, or we were listening to Richie on your stream earlier, and you know what? It makes sense, yo. What's in every single neighborhood? A school. Why would they evacuate the schools? Because that's where they're gonna be holding the people who are just ain't gonna fucking conform. I think. You know, they're gonna round up the people, and we're all gonna go live at a school on top of each other, fucking sleeping on each other. It's gonna be ridiculous, and people don't see this coming. It's really just starting to make me feel like, psh, what the fuck's wrong with y'all? Like, I don't know. But the thing is, like, you know, when someone dies, you're not supposed to grieve them according to the Bible. You're supposed to pray for their spirit, and then that's it. You know, you're not supposed to grieve upon it, because that's where the devil works up in there. You know, he gives you the feelings of sorrow and hopelessness. And we talked about that yesterday, how a demon in an exorcism identified himself as hopelessness. So you really gotta, like, I don't know, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, what I was thinking too is that, you know, every day in this country, people die from natural causes and maybe ailments that they're already suffering with that could cause them to, you know, possibly pass away sooner rather than later, who are now stuck in their homes, who, you know, or what are we supposed to do? Are they just going to come and collect people who pass away and stuff? Are we supposed to put them outside and wait for them to get picked up or something because they're gonna suspend funerals and stuff? Or I mean, none of this makes sense. There's things in life that you can't put on pause or cancel. There's babies being born right now and stuff like this. I mean, this is just craziness what's happening.
Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, oh, hey, Auntie Jen, don't die, because you can't die for the next 15 days because we're practicing social distancing, or hey, Jen, or hey, whatever, you know, like, oh, you're starting to sprout, you know, you're about to give birth. Try to hold it in for another week and a half, you know, and then we'll open up the hospitals again for you. Like, what do you like? What?
Well,
Well, imagine that you show up to a hospital. You're like in the stages of giving birth, and they're like, "Sorry, man, we're only receiving COVID-19 people today."
you know how many people are relying on also prescription medications? My aunt was just told earlier she couldn't get hers. So if everything's closed down, how are people supposed to get out to get their medications that are vital to their existence?
It's ridiculous.
And 80% of Americans are on prescription drugs in one form or another.
Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But here, let me go to the chat before I forget.
You ever seen people coming off of Oxycontins?
You're looking at that's someone who has come off them once or twice. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not a fun couple days, but I have strong willpower, so I can get over that shit better than most, I feel. I'm not trying to claim that I'm like some sort of immune person to benzos and whatever the fuck, but if you just put your mind to it, you can get over that shit easy. I've quit drinking, even quit smoking weed at times in my life. It's hard, but you get through it. But you know, and I did it all under the guidelines of thinking for some reason that one day this shit might not be available, so let's just quit it real quick, and you know, to get that built in me, that so I already know. It's like muscle memory. It's like, oh, okay, you've already got off this before, so once they pinch the pockets hard enough, you ain't gonna fucking, you know, you ain't gonna be able to get bud no more. You're not gonna have the nicotine anymore. So you gotta like prepare yourself for that, whether it's cutting cold turkey or you know, just like getting off of it, to know that you can get off it. And that's half the battle, is knowing. If you've done it before, you can do it again. And if you've never done it before, just put your mind to it, pray to God, and you're good to go. That's what people fail to do with all of these, like, I'm depressed, I have anxiety, I have all these other things. Like, no, you just have a part of a demon inside of you that needs to get exercised and brought out and delivered through the name of God. And then it's not going to work overnight, but you know, it'll work a lot quicker, and it'll actually work compared to the drugs that keep you on and on and on and on and up in the dose and up in the dose.
And then they have the emotional turmoil of the snowflakes that they've created over the last 5 years or 7 years or so. The snowflakes who, you know, get crushed at the littlest thing that happens in life. Well, now their whole fucking life is shut down. So there's probably a bunch of people crying in corners needing their space and stuff, and they can't get any space because they're trapped in their house with their family. You know, all these snowflakes out there are super sensitive and all this stuff. Oh my God, you know, they're just going to shut up and go along.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But all right. Here, I want to share a video from earlier that we were gonna share, but you know, stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just hit the button here. I probably don't even have this video loaded. Let's see if we got it loaded. We got it loaded. Wow, not bad at all. This is from Richie from Boston earlier. He shared someone else's video, and I think Disciple Dable or Disciple David Dable. I don't know where I pulled that from, but yeah, it's you just take a listen to this, guys. It's pretty interesting. I don't think you really need visuals with it, so.
Hi guys, it's David, disciple of the Lord Jesus Christ. Brother, if you've been baptized in Jesus' name for the remission of sins, never received the gift of the Holy Ghost, speaking with tongues as the Spirit gives the utterance. So we're going to talk a little bit about problem, reaction, solution before we get into this. Problem, reaction, solution is a way that the government manipulates the masses. It's when they present a problem, and the problem is COVID-19, aka the coronavirus. The reaction of the people is to do a certain thing that they want them to do so that they can give us a solution. And that reaction of us right now is freak out, buy all the toilet paper, get all the food, get stocked up on food, and kind of be paranoid of our neighbors and whoever we might assume to have the coronavirus, especially if you're part of the mainstream flock of people. If you're a sheeple, you're definitely in that group. So in our case, there is a common thread during all this whole thing, right? The government wants us alone. That's what it is. They want us to stay home, not travel abroad, try to go to little places as possible. They've shut down most restaurants. You can't go in. You can only order fast food. They just are doing all they can to limit travel. And pretty soon here, they have a goal to try to get us to where we just have to stay home altogether. They even are giving a free $1,000 check to those that have their jobs right now. Trump's doing this thing so where he can give people that have their jobs affected that they can have $1,000 and not have to seek other employment for the moment, I guess. I mean, obviously $1,000 is not much though, but they're trying to keep us off the roads and in our houses. And this is the problem, guys. So let's read first what a clergy response team is, because not all of you might know what this is. And to those that don't, you need to know. Secret FEMA plan to use pastors and pacifiers in preparation for martial law. Nationwide initiative trains volunteers to teach congregations to obey the government during seizures of guns, property, forced inoculations, and forced relocation. This is in the article from 2006. This is how long they've been ready for this. The pastor has come forward to blow the whistle on a nationwide FEMA program, which is training pastors and other religious representatives to become secret police enforcers who will teach their congregations to obey the government in preparation for the declaration of martial law, property, and firearm seizures and forced relocation. See, this is a big problem. And then they even get to talking about bioterrorist attack. Come on, for the potential bioterrorist attack, more COVID-19 coronavirus kind of exposure there that they already knew that was coming. This is why they've done this. So we do have FEMA now slowly being brought into our country, and we do have the National Guard being brought in, and they're supposedly just here to help with instituting like the test kits and all that. But you know that they're going to roll them in soft on us. They're not going to just bring them in to take our firearms, and that's why they're having us stay at home, guys. The whole goal is to get us at home. So let's see something else here. So here's another article real quick. It says cat feed, best news, USD 501, and so you don't know what that means, that it's 501c will feed students during break. All right, guys, and this is like a mainstream article, so this is them just telling you, and they have no idea about, that's why I read to you first what a clergy response team was. So Topeka Public School, USD 501c shared details Monday about free meal options for students, as nearly 78% of their 1,300 students rely on free or reduced fee lunches. At a gathering of clergy and community leaders, clergy, see, there's that word, the key word, guys, clergy and community leaders at New Mount Zion Church of Southeast Indiana, Superintendent Tiffany Anderson explained how the meal distribution would work. Topeka schools food service would provide grab-and-go meals for breakfast, lunch for students. Meal distribution will occur 11 a.m. noon, begin Tuesday, run every weekend until March 27th. The meals are restricted to students age 18 and under and may be collected once a day. Okay? And this is all done by the church, guys, and this is all to keep you at home. And this isn't the only thing. What do we got going on with the internet, right? We're all forced at home, and we're trying to find out what's going on with the internet. On the internet to find out what's going on. Here's the latest in the news that when you bring up the news, 8 million people can't get news on coronavirus because the government is slowing down the internet. And this is mainstream. They're just telling you they're slowing it down. Coronavirus won't negatively impact internet services. So they're just outright lying. How to detect the government's hand behind internet shutdowns 7 hours ago. So we're working from home. Can the internet handle it 3 days ago? What happens when the internet vanishes 3 weeks ago? Internet shutdowns become my favorite tool of government. It's like it's like we suddenly went blind 3 weeks ago. Wall Street Journal. See, these are like mainstream. They're putting this out here. They're telling us what they're going to do. So imagine you are forced at home. You can't travel. The government has a ban on travel, and you're stuck at your home. We have no internet to know what's happening with our neighbors, so that we can't find out if they're actually taking our guns or if they're actually grabbing people up and they're putting them in FEMA camps. You would never know. You wouldn't. This is what the whole goal is, guys. I hope you guys really start to see this and are ready, because if that becomes the thing, if the internet goes down, you probably shouldn't be where they can find you. And then here we go. Look, here's another mainstream article saying more than 1,500 National Guard troops activated to fight coronavirus. They're going to fight invisible disease that doesn't exist, guys. Or are they? Is that the only goal they got? And this is like just what they're telling you. They're only telling you this because this is like a small number too. 1,500 is like nothing. And here's an article about it. You guys can find it on. I'll put it under the description if you want to read that too. But I just wanted to bring this to your attention because this solution of the government is to segregate you and to put you at home. And the clergy response team and everybody else is to pacify you and keep you there. And eventually, when the internet does have problems, and I've already been having issues with latency where I live, then you're not going to have any news, and you're not going to know whether your neighbor down the street got taken because he had been suspected of having a virus, or that if he owned firearms, they took his firearms. You won't know right away until they get to your house. So, anyways, this has been Truthflex. I hope that you guys are ready for this. Bye.
Pretty much what's up. Pretty much what's happening. It's frustrating. No one sees it. Yep, the internet, the power grids. Yep. Absolutely. Why do you think they're slowing this shit down, people? Why do you think I couldn't stream fucking 2 hours ago? You know? Everything's happening, you know? Just like that. Just like that, man.
Any day now they can flip the switch. We've been saying this for how long? All they got to do is flip the switch and it's on. Game on. And it's game over.
I know. What are they going to fucking do? Like fucking, what do they say? Sorry, this would keep the last days moments relatively peaceful. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what they want. They want a false peace, a false hope. And that's what all these people are trying to give. False. Donald Trump telling us that we're going to have a war. We're going to fight the coronavirus. Like, what does that even mean, dude? It's nothing real. The real war is going to be upon us, whether it's UN troops, your own troops. Could just be fucking Chinese troops dressed up as American troops or vice versa. You don't really know what's going to happen on the back end of this, but some people might start getting taken. That's really all you can. That's all I can really say about that definitively. Without getting in trouble, some people might get taken or missing, or I don't know.
Well, the guy's right. Once the internet goes down and we have no way of knowing anything that's going on, like I've said numerous times, I don't even watch televised Eurovision. The only way I know anything that's going on is through what I hear, like say my mom will bring to my attention or something like that. But yeah, outside of my immediate area here, I will have no idea what's going on anywhere. Like as if even right now, if they told me 1 million people are just died of coronavirus in Chicago, I have no clue. I don't know. I can't believe what they say. So I really still have no clue. We've never had a clue because they've told us nothing but lies this whole time. We really don't know what's going on in all these other countries. Right now, millions of people could be being taken right in China right now and exterminated, or who knows what they're doing to their people over there. Hell, I read you that thing earlier. They don't give a fuck.
They don't. They look at us like we're expendable, like we're golems or something.
To continue on to stay in power. They know exactly how many they need to do that, and they know what age group they want.
Well, hold on, here you go right there. That's how you know it's a light censorship they're doing right now, because sooner or later, they might just change our YouTube passwords.
Streaming unless I go directly to Jen's house. Luckily, I check now. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't had 3 notifications in the last 24. Let me just check my YouTube right now, because I went live right before your show to bring a couple people. And then other than that, I went live last night, right? Because we went live on your channel this morning. Or did we go double live on your channel last night? I don't quite remember.
We went double last night. We went earlier. I was on twice already today, and now I'm on yours. I was on 3 different things yesterday. I can't even keep track up anymore, Steve. It's just so, and I got a notification too, said that on this streaming StreamYard, I'm at my last notification for that or something, or I'm using up the limit of my free capability because I'm on the free one.
What a perfect time,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know because I used it too many times in the last week or something. I don't know. I didn't know there was a limit on free.
No, nothing. Like they say, nothing's ever free, but something that I just want to talk about real quick is the whole money factor with all of this. And my brother asked me a good question earlier. He's like, "Yo, should we put all our money in the digital thing, or should we keep our cash?" I'm like, "Dude, you're between a rock and a hard place right now." I'm like,
I would say do both.
I'm like, well, I'm saying, like, if you keep, obviously that's like the sensible solution, but if your money's in your account and you're deemed an undesirable citizen because you didn't get the new vaccine chip, they might just not make you available that money, and your bills are going to pile up, and then they'll have a case to arrest you, something like that. But on the other hand, if you try to keep it all cash and they deem the cash contaminated, who's going to accept your cash? But all at the same time, who's going to even let you in your store if you don't have the fucking the new ID 2020 chip that makes all viruses fucking non-real or whatever? It's ridiculous.
When do people start to realize that they bought the whole $1,000 check lie and they're never even going to get to spend it? They don't care. They'll send out $10,000. You're never going to get to spend that shit.
Right. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, the only reason that I signed up for unemployment is just because motherfucking someone's got to pay the bills at some point, Like, I'm going to run out of revenue. What am I going to do? Start knocking doors like, hey, you got $1,000 for me? No? I guess I'll just fuck, Like, great.
Yeah. They're shutting it all down. The American dream has been shut down. It's been the American nightmare for a very long time. And now they just kicked this shit into overdrive. And I always said, and this is going to sound really strange, but I always said I'm never going to get old. Ever since I was a little girl, I knew I was never going to get old. And I don't mean like, oh, you're 50, you look great kind of thing. I mean, I always knew that I was never going to be an old person, living well into my 80s and 90s and stuff like that. So for me, it never even factored into my thought pattern as I was growing up through life till I am now that I'm going to get old. It was just never a part of my thought because I always knew I was never going to get old. And, if they have their way, I won't. But here we are right now. And who knows what tomorrow is going to bring. I mean, this thing is accelerating exponentially. And, I just had to make a really difficult phone call to my kids earlier because, I don't want to wait and put it off until tomorrow because I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. God only knows what the next day after that's going to be like. So, I feel like if you guys have the opportunity to right some wrongs, reach out to people who you always meant to reach out to, but just never managed to pick the phone up and get to it. Say the things that you need to say to people that you haven't said. Maybe you need to ask for forgiveness from people that you might have wronged in your life. Maybe you just want to reconnect with some people that you used to be connected to that you're not anymore. Everybody should be doing that and taking that. Don't take any second from this point on for granted. You'll regret it later for sure. Oh, I was outside barbecuing. I was like, it's just barbecue. We're just going to make the best of it here. It's like camping at home, stay at home. Everything's good. Just yelled to the neighbor over his fence there. See, we can still talk. It's all good. Just stay here in our yard. It'll all be over soon. But what if it's not? I mean, pretty much, guys, it's not. My mom asked me earlier, do you want to put the flag out tomorrow? I said, I don't want to put the flag out tomorrow. I'm being betrayed by my own country. My own country is going to come at some point and do God only knows what. Because once they shut this shit down, we're at their mercy. The only information we will get is what they're going to be announcing over the speakers in their little FEMA camps. And we can't trust what they say now. So why would I trust anything coming out of a speaker or some Hummer rolling down the road with a loudspeaker telling everybody what to do? Everybody step outside your house. We're going to roll up. Everybody's going to spit in this tube or look in this retina scan. And we're going to tell you if you have something, if you're worthy of living or dying or coming with us.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
I mean, which way could this really go from here, guys? You actually think this is going to get us back to normal? If we did get back to normal, it would be for like a month or two. Make you think everything's good. Everything's great. Everything's going to look better now and brighter, right? And then they roll out the next virus or flip on the next switch or whatever. Gets more people flopping over.
Ridiculous. I just can't believe that like people are just letting this fucking crawl right in and, they're just like, oh, 2 weeks off from work. You bet. Sounds good. It's like they don't see that like they're probably not going to be going back to work, man. It's just, that's just a work aspect. And I don't know about you and anybody else in the chat or, whoever the fuck this might reach. But I, for one, I enjoyed, going to work, putting my time into something that could produce something that, benefited people. I fed people. And now I'm going to have to rely on someone to feed me at some point. Well, I'm not going to, but like that's the guidelines that they're putting out. They don't want you to depend on yourself. And it's just like that War on fucking Science film or whatever it was that CBS released, that little hit piece they had. And right at the end, it was like, yeah, we can't have a war on science because that puts the burden right back on us. And this time in this society, we can't have the burden on us. We need to rely on others. And then 2 or 3 days later, what do? They lock the country down and tell us to rely on your government officials. So shout out these motherfuckers. It's ridiculous, but
let it not be said that we stood by and did nothing.
Facts. People be like, oh, you're just sitting in a room doing nothing. Like, yeah, I'm trying to wake up everyone before the cavalry actually rolls in. And that's why every couple of minutes people will see me looking outside, because I be hearing a lot of planes, a lot of helicopters, and, people aren't flying in and out of Logan Airport anymore or Bradley down the road. What the fuck could that be in the sky, Most likely military, no coincidence. It's got to be military because I live fucking 5 miles from one of the biggest military bases in the Northeast. Give me a break. Westover Air Base. And I went around town I went to 3 different Walmarts today. I went to the local one. I didn't see much in that parking lot. It was full. I'll tell you that. These people are actually freaking out. I went up to Ware, Mass. Ware, Mass is more isolated. It's like in the woods. I figured, they might have something up there. Nothing. Everyone was there, but you go to Lowe's. There's like 6 people in the Lowe's parking lot. And I was like, oh, well, I kind of have to take a shit right now. So I'm going in there. I'm not going where all these monkeys are at fucking Walmart. So I went there, and then I worked my way down to Chicopee, which is where the Air Force Base was, and I would have bet my fucking bottom dollar that they would have had something set up there by now, but they don't. But what they do have are an extensive amount of those lock cops. You know what I'm talking about? Because my Walmart over here has 1 or 2 of those. This motherfucker had like, there was like all around the back, along the entrance, and then 1, 2, 3 in the middle, couple at the beginning. I'm like, yo, how do people like surveillance system? How do people not see that? It's ridiculous. Oh, did I drop out for a second?
Just a split second. You're good. Would you feel like, I know Karen and Brian are on now too, I think. And, I was going to suggest earlier we did really well with dropping the StreamYard link into the chat in case there was anybody out there who wanted to join us and tell us what's going on in their area or in their personal lives or how they're personally being affected by this cancellation of life here in America.
And that was a good time to get other people's perspective and whatnot. But you know what? Let me hit the invite button. I just want to make sure there's no like trollers in the chat, but I don't think so. Just let me make sure I got a lot of mods in the chat before I fucking do this real quick. And I got to use the bathroom too, so this will give people time to look at it, and they want to sack up and come on, they can do it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, CJ's in the chat. Who's got a wrench?
Yep.
Ghost is there. Some people might be bouncing back and forth between us and Brian as well. So I mean, if you don't recognize any other names in here that you might want to, my mom could be a moderator. Christine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's way back here. Please hold. All right. Gave her one. Yeah, everyone else looks like they're bouncing back and forth. Tommy Rogers seems pretty cool. I've always seen him everywhere, so I'm gonna. Yeah. So,
guys, if you open up the StreamYard link that we're going to drop in there and you've never used it before, it is very user friendly. Just make sure any pages you have open with the show going or your phone, if you're listening on your phone and watching on the computer, however you're doing it, just make sure your volume's down so we don't hear echo.
Yeah, if you click on it, make sure just exit your YouTube stream. You know what I'm saying? Just exit that and just open this. And if you have earphones, that works too. If not, it's all good. But here's the stream. It's right there in the chat if anyone wants to click that and join us real quick and talk about some things. And I got a couple other things I wanted to bring up too, so that'll be cool. But you want to say hi to the chat real quick? Yeah, well, I just got to use the bathroom, and my mom and uncle may have just got home. I heard the dog freak out for a second, but she does that when a bunny runs across the street, so who knows?
Okay.
If I'm not back in like 2 or 3 minutes, don't get worried. It's just I got to, see what's up with them.
That's okay. I got stuff I'll talk about.
I'll put you on full.
God, Steve, you don't have to put me on full. Christine Salerno, that's my mama. Hello, Mom. She's actually in the next room over here. Jean Paul Rodriguez. Biz Wolfer, that's a weird one. The True Seeker 69. Steve JMO. Tommy Rogers. Mountain Scooter. Rick Swain, what's up? PG2424. Christian Knapp, hey, what's going on? PG24, hi again. Zoom Truth, Anita Torres, Awesome Austin, who else we got here? Allison Lee Lyons, what's going on? Burgos, I'm not sure if I said you earlier, what's up, Burgos? CJ, what's going on? Signman, what's up? Dark Slayer 1, what's going on? Cora, what's up? Brandon, what's going on? Halo Effect 67, what's up? Oh, I don't know how to say this one. Neo HD 13 Ringgold. I said that right. Who else we got? That's about it. That's everybody. Thank you all for coming. I know lots going on YouTube right now. People are bouncing around and everything like that, But I don't even know what to say. I mean, I've been at this all day. I'm trying to calm my family down. I'm trying to get them to think straight and come up with a plan. I have people in 3 different states My family's up in Philly, my sister, her husband, my niece, and there's other people that are close to us up there. We're here in Alabama, and my 2 sons, Christopher and Ryan, Christopher's 30 and my son Ryan's 26, are down in Fort Myers, Florida, with my aunt and my cousin and her 2 kids and her boyfriend, and also my ex-husband's there, which is my son Ryan's father. We're all still close with each other and stuff, so everything's good that way. I'm trying to get them to hopefully tomorrow morning they're all going to be meeting over at my aunt's house and have a little family meeting to sort this stuff out as best they can, try to come up with a plan. My aunt has medications that she's not able to get. I don't know what those medications are, but clearly there's something that she relies on that she's no longer able to get. And there's kids, young kids. My cousin has young kids that are stuck in now. There's many things that could happen stuck in the house. 90% of accidents happen in the house. Just want everybody to connect with your loved ones far and wide, and don't take for granted that we have internet now and phone, because there could become a day when we don't have these things, and who knows when we'll get them back, or if we'll get them back, or if we'll get the privilege to even use the phone to try and locate somebody. I'm not trying to think worst case scenario, but we read you guys the Rex 84. We've read you the executive orders for national emergency and forced vaccinations. We've read you the Chinese defense minister talking his shit back in 2005. It's exactly what's happening right now. I said for about 2 weeks now, about like a week and a half, I feel like we're being invaded. I feel like we're being herded into our houses like sheep. Sheep are always led to the slaughter. I felt like, it's just a total takeover. Handover, really, is what they're doing. They're handing us over to the Chinese people. I'm not bagging on all Chinese people. I'm talking about China and the people that run that country. I'm not trying to be, anti-Chinese against people that naturally live here and have lived here all their lives and stuff like that. I'm not getting into that kind of bullshit. But I am talking about total totalitarian takeover and draconian measures being taken. Extreme measures for the slightest of infractions. Extreme measures. China already said last month in February that if you didn't even admit that you even had the coronavirus, you would be executed on the spot. That was a month ago. And they got billions of people over there. What are they doing with all these people over there? Everywhere. I mean, it's just like, who knows what's even going on in Italy? What are they doing with all those people? That's always been a socialist communist government over there in Italy. Look at Stalin and all these other people. And we thought we were free all this time. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they're free. It's the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. Because when you wake up, and we're woke, we're in the American nightmare as far as I can tell. The dream's been long gone, and it's all it's ever been was just a dream. An illusion. Make America great again? Were we ever really great? When you look back at his story, is it really that great? We couldn't have been all that great if we got led to this point right now. Everything that we've ever encountered as far as his story goes, everybody who's lived it through every one of these his story events, JFK, Gulf of Tonkin, all these wars, all these veterans and stuff, it's always been his story, not ours. And we've been playing parts in his story all this time. Well, you're going to be a soldier now. You're going to go off to war and you're going to fight for your country because that's part of his story. It's not our story. We've never been writing our story. And now they're writing us off. Call your loved ones. Take advantage of every minute that we have this freedom, because this freedom as quickly the window's closing on it. And we got about this much to go before the window's closed all the way. Get right with yourself. Think about the worst case scenario. Think about it long and hard, and then think about how you're going to deal with it. And then when the time comes, you'll handle it a little better. Because if you don't want to deal with it now, how the hell are you going to deal with it when it's right in your face? These are things that I've thought about over the last 15 years since I woke up to 9/11. I've already had a talk with my cat. I told my husband yesterday, I talked to Bella. He goes, what do you mean you talked to Bella? I said, I talked to him. I said, if shit goes down, I'm taking his collar off and I'm telling him to run. I mean, he listens to me. I communicate with my cat. And a lot of people are going to have to make some decisions when it comes to their pets. Because if they're willing to take any action towards us, you can guarantee they're not going to just leave a bunch of pets running the neighborhood and stuff.
No, but I guess I have like decent good news. I guess my uncle hasn't passed away yet, but he has a do not resuscitate shit on him, I guess, because when they did what I said they did, they cracked like a bunch of bones on him, and I don't know, man. So they said it'd be a miracle if he made it through the night. So there it is, you know. I got my mom downstairs all fucked up, and she was like, yeah, she showed me a picture of him. I'm just like, I really don't want to see that. But I mean, if you had to, you know, I guess I'll whatever. But she's telling me, she was like, come on, you're from the hood, you know, you're from Springfield. You got to shake this shit off. But, you know, didn't even budge, didn't even blink, wasn't even conscious, just had a little heart rate. And they said his blood pressure is just going to come down throughout the night and his whole body will just shut off at some point.
Sorry,
but
Steve.
It's all good, man. Like,
How old
life. 55.
Wow. That's 5 years older than me.
Yep. I mean, like, it's not like
they know that a lot of people aren't going to make it through just this first little phase. Because the inconvenience that they're causing, things that need to be handled on just a regular basis that have to keep going for people to actually live and survive, not just food-wise, but medication and hospitals and all this other stuff, illnesses.
Like, right, what do you, like, I don't get that shit. Like, oh, don't die this week because you have corona or we have the, you know, everything going on. You got to see those patients first, and yet we have people like Brian who, you know, go live in the doctor's office where fucking there ain't nothing going on. Actually, that's the real hoax. They don't want you to go outside. They're not allowing more than 2 people into the hospital at a time because they're afraid they're going to see that there's actually nothing fucking going on. And that's the real messed up part behind all this.
If I still worked in the medical field and this was me in one of these places because I was deemed okay to still work there and wait for these people to come in and take care of them and stuff, and I saw what was going on, I would literally take my shit off and walk the fuck out of there and never look back. I quit the medical field years ago when they were doing forced vaccinations on, the swine flu, bird flu, all that crap like that back then. Mandatory flu shots were starting to be coming in because the flu was getting worse before they brought in this, H1N1 stuff and everything. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting vaccinated. And I'm not working in the medical field. That's what meant I had to give up that job. I want to say right now to the people who are going along with this in the medical field, shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you for being ignorant to the fact that you can't even figure out what the fuck is really going on. And shame on you for the fact that if you are figuring out what the fuck's going on, you're going to stay there and keep going along with it. Shame on you.
It's because they have
a traitor to the human race.
To the dollar, to the coin, to the thing that's actually worth nothing, and then they're going to prove it's worth nothing the next coming couple days, weeks, whatever. Not years anymore, people. I mean, the end of the road is...
Doctors don't vaccinate their kids because they know exactly what's in these vaccines, but they'll vaccinate your kids all fucking day long and get paid for it.
How about Dr. Oz, who pushes vaccines but goes home and can't convince his kids or wife to get vaccines? So that's interesting. That's just not your local doctor. That's like the fucking doctor they call in the White House when Donald Trump has a fucking extra lump on his ball. They call fucking Dr. Oz, you know?
What about his wife sleeping next to him every night, knowing that he's injecting kids with the poison that she won't let him inject his kids with?
That's shame on her as well.
Exactly.
Silence is consent.
Exactly. Silence is consent.
Yep. It's ridiculous, man.
You didn't say nothing when they took this person. You didn't say nothing when they came for that person. And when they came for you, there was nobody to say nothing because you never said anything. There was nobody left.
That's what happens. That's where this is all leading to. I'm afraid, you know, and you know, like there's something inside me that's like, yo, you should go downstairs and tell everyone you love them and get in the car and go to fucking Alabama or something, you know, because I mean, Massachusetts is a pushover state, man. They're gonna push it right over. I mean, it's on the fucking coast, so you know they got no problem enforcing the maritime martial law that's coming in under the guise of a medical fucking disaster, a medical enemy. Doesn't even make sense. Let's go fight the enemy.
Yeah, the enemy is us. They're saying that we're infected with the coronavirus, so obviously we're the fucking enemy. 90% of Americans are infected with it. They don't even know it.
Yeah, it sounds like some fucking Alex Jones shit. The globalists are infected. The globalists. Give me a break. Fuck that.
Oh, this is what they're saying. This Q people and stuff. The only reason that it's the celebrities that we're hearing about that are infected is because they're the ones who are drinking or eating or whatever they do tainted adrenochrome with the coronavirus. And that's why they're being taken out by the cabal because of their wickedness and stuff. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You think they'd actually shut down the whole fucking world to take down a few fucking actors and politicians and bankers and child molesters? They're stopping life, guys. They're canceling life.
Right. For anyone who thinks that's accurate, like, you got to think of, like, the set of balls these people don't have. You know, if they have to wait for a national emergency or put up a fake pandemic to go arrest someone, like, that's just ridiculous. Like, if I had a warrant out for my arrest, they're not going to put out a fake shooting in downtown Springfield to come wrap me up while everyone's looking that way. No, they're just going to knock on the door, bag on the head, Steve in the trunk, and it's all over, you know? They don't wait for stuff like that. If they have something on you, they'll come and get you. But the fact is they might have something on these people, but these people have something even higher on them, which is a false illusion of power. You know, they're like, oh, I'm not going to go after Nancy Pelosi because she's like a powerful woman. Well, first of all, she might not even be a woman. She might be some sort of skin robot thing. And second of all, you do. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, you don't stand under any of these people. You know, we're all human beings. We're all made equal. We're all right here. And these people think they're up here and we're down here. But in reality, we're all right here. You know, God made us all perfect and equal. And these people that want to say that we're up here, it's just wrong. It's just wrong on so many levels. And they look down at us like we're meaningless. We're goyim. You know, it's right out of the cabal. You know, the cabal that's taking all these pedophiles now. Even though in the cabal it says, you know, sexual interactions with a child even as of 3 years old. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's the new norm, guys. Get used to it. It's all good. It's the new norm. You want to know what life's going to be like after this for people who get to the other side of this whole mess? If you haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale, check it the fuck out. Just take out the storyline plot of, you know, fertility and infertility and all that stuff like that. And just look at the situation that everybody's living under. Okay? Total totalitarianism. Draconian measures across the board. If you read a book, they chop off your hand. This kind of stuff. You can't read books, or only men can read books, but women can't. There'll be new laws, new rules for each person. And I mean, each segment, class, race, gender, all this stuff like that.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that statement.
All you have to do is watch the movie 1984. And that's what life's going to be like.
I mean, it's not a box of chocolates anymore, people.
Oh yeah, you
It
know
is.
exactly what you're gonna get, and it ain't good.
No, it's the complete opposite of good.
Let's talk about these two cruise ships that are supposedly off the east and west coast. Is anybody? Because I told you guys I don't watch Tell Lies to Your Vision. I don't know if the numbers have gone up. I go by Richie from Boston and a couple other things that I'm hearing from other people. But has anybody heard anything else on the Tell Lies to Your Vision or anything that you're saying about these cruise ships? I'm very interested in that. I find that to be very interesting. I want to know what they're doing, who they're waiting for. I think that they may be getting out people who are willing to relocate, or maybe they're getting ready to relocate people at a certain point. Where are they going to take people to? You know what I mean? I mean, first off, being on the ocean on a cruise ship with these fuckers, they can just throw everybody overboard if they wanted to. You know, who knows? I'm not getting on those ships. That's all I know.
Right. Or they could take you to some fuck island and tell you it's another location, you know?
Yeah, we're going to Epstein Island or some shit like that.
You go hang out with Kobe Bryant. Oh, give me a break, people. Kobe Bryant. Get me going with that guy. Oh, man. This is all foreseeable. It was all planned out, you know? Whether it was years ago, whether it was fucking as it was going, it was all played out. You know, they took Kobe Bryant out, and there's no coincidence that Kobe, when you translate that into Hebrew, then you retranslate it back into English, that Hebrew equals COVID. Well, not anymore if you look it up, you know, not anymore. If you look it up now, they just equal the same thing, you know? And it's just like, well, why did that change? It's changed because this is what they're doing. They're whitewashing the internet, people. Instead of a book burning, it's more of like a natural book or a digital book burning. They're just changing the whole narrative. It's absolutely ridiculous. We got some peace pipe.
My mom came in to smoke with me. She's very upset.
It's all good. We're all in the same boat right now, man.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I feel better when I'm in here.
Absolutely. You know.
He did hear what you said about defibrillator.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long word.
Yeah, I found that out.
Yep. But yeah, that's ridiculous. And now I guess he made it through all of that, and you know they'll be surprised if he made it through the night because there's a no resuscitate stamp on him now. Not literal stamp, but you know.
Well, when they did this to him, when they did the defibrillator, they broke his ribs and stuff.
I heard them. I heard them say that. I couldn't get to it fast enough to.
It's 55.
I heard that also. I'd like to put a shout out, if it's all right, to Karen B. I understand her sons they're not with her, and she was concerned about how they were doing, and I had commented that I'm sure they're doing fine. I hope that was okay on how I worded it.
I don't know. I didn't even know none of that.
This was earlier.
Her sons aren't with her. I don't even know. I mean, I know.
I don't know how old they are. I just want to put a shout out and say I hope everything's okay.
Well, we love you, Karen. We'll be over there soon to see what's going on with you guys. Oh, you're on.
Sure.
Thank you.
Your uncle's in our prayers, Dave.
I didn't quite hear that. I'm sorry.
Your uncle is in our prayers.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you. He appreciates that too, I hope.
Anytime.
Oh man, it's just such a bad day. Like it starts off with these motherfuckers locking down everything. Then when I go to the bank and the banks just, you know, they don't work under banking hours anymore. Those have changed. I go to the other bank, they're all wearing masks and gloves. Then I get a text message from my friend. I don't know if we went over this earlier, but what happened? Citizens or Country Bank, the internet banking and mobile app is currently unavailable due to maintenance. Please try your request again later. And then underneath her posts, a bunch of people saying they were declined their inquiry at the ATM. Nothing is working, not even debit. Yes, the amount or blah blah blah. If someone was going to pass that, and what does that say? Does anyone know if debit cards are working? Or no, I don't think they are for that. And that puts a lot of people like in a hard pickle, man. Like your money's in the account, you might need some cash for certain things, and you can't get it. Like that's not good. And once your money, let's say you put all your money in the digital system because you're like, oh well, they're gonna drop the dollar, this, that, or the other thing. I mean, if you do that, what if you're deemed an undesirable citizen? They're not going to let you get your money. Go look at what happened in China last year or 2 years ago. They put up the social credit system along with the whole 5G grid. And through the social credit system, I think they put like 1.1 million people in jail through the social crediting system. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the Chinese, they're all over all this stuff, the social credit system, all this facial recognition. This has been going on for quite some time in China. And it seems to be whatever's happening in China is causing a ripple effect, and it's coming over here and happening here. So they're a month ahead of us of what all the stuff. So whatever happened to them last month is coming here this month.
Yep. That's what it seems to be.
We just don't know what's going on in the rest of the world. We do not know. The only thing we know is the bull crap that they're telling us. Unless people have people there that we can call. Like we know Voynich is in, where's he at? Sweden?
Netherlands, I'm sorry.
The Netherlands. There's people that we know in England. All of us are spread out across the country and stuff like that. So as long as we can, we have to be telling each other what's going on, because I don't trust a damn word. Not a damn word that they're saying. And I never will. People
don't. People are buying it up. People are saying like, oh yeah, only the important people should be driving who have like, jobs that can still be applied right now. And, you're a threat if you go outside because you're young and you could hold the virus and not know it and get me sick. Well, how about this? How about there is no virus? I have no risk of getting you sick. You have no risk of getting me sick. But the only risk you have of getting sick is up here because you're watching the TV and it's going through your eyes into your brain in between the space where the two temples are held, and they're getting you sick.
Yep. Fear is a sickness.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
When they say the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. If you let that in, then that's going to be all your troubles right there. I'm not letting the fear in. I just see that the fear around me is letting it in. And I, like many of you and Steve and everybody, are right in the middle of all these people. I'm not equipped to go live out in the woods somewhere. I don't have a bug out spot. And if I did, I probably would be heading there. But because clearly if they want us to stay in our homes, we shouldn't. Okay? We're sitting ducks. For what? I have no fucking clue. But everybody's at home. And we're here for a reason. And it's not the fucking coronavirus.
No, it's not even close. Not even close. But, oh, man.
So Gypsy Rose, if you can highlight his comment, he said he was bored and drove through Seattle, the city of Seattle, and didn't see any homeless or sick at all. So the homeless are still out, and homeless sometimes they don't have a choice. They huddle up together, because there's so many of them now. They line a whole block and stuff. Of course, that's all done by design. Sure, it won't be long before they start taking the homeless off the street, though, and try to fudge their numbers up and stuff. I mean, they'll be showing stuff that'll convince people that this is really happening. Look at all these homeless people. They just died.
Anything could happen, and they're going to call it coronavirus.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, whether it's 5G or whether it's troops hitting the ground, you hit the ground, they could just deem you a corona victim. And you're just part of the numbers. And that's my biggest fear with my uncle, man. They're going to be like, oh, he was doing bad for a while. He was dealing with corona. And, it could be a fucking story, bro. Like, yeah. Are you serious? And then, they could just pull the old thing like, oh, well, this whole section has to self-quarantine because my mom went to the hospital. And then Van went, and then my aunt went, and then you all have to quarantine together. You know, they tell me to go quarantine somewhere. That's it for me, man. I'll hit a cop. I'll take it right to the head. Fuck it, you know. 'Cause we might lose the. It's about, you know, what's that old saying? Lose the battle.
But
Jake
we'll win the war because we won't let them into our temple.
Exactly.
So if you don't let them in, then you got to go. And you need to know that you got to go. And you can't fear death. They have us fearing death because people don't know what comes after death. They hold all this secret knowledge. They know all this shit. They know what we're in. They know how big it is, the circumference, and how it all works. They know exactly what the sun and the moon are. And they know what the fuck's going on with the Mandela effect. And they certainly know about what's going on with death. We don't. But you got to know. You got to know. You got to make that choice. And you can't let them in. You let them in here. It's over. It's over.
Absolutely. I'm just looking for a quote real quick. So, all right, let me try this again. I'm not screen sharing right now, am I?
No, not yet.
All right. That's probably a good thing right now. Hold on.
I love you, Steve. I love everybody. I love you guys so much. And if things don't work out here, I know I will see you on the other side. And we'll be like, fuck that place. Yeah.
Absolutely. It was good while it lasted, but if it was always just F, then it'll be always F'd, you know?
Yeah. We came here to learn our lesson, I guess, and now we're learning it and we're going to move on.
Absolutely. All right. I'm just trying to get these 2 Bible quotes put up, but it's not really working out right now for me. So let's try that again. All right. All right. What exactly? Oh my gosh. I'm really getting pissed off now.
I'm going to drop that link in the chat from earlier. I don't know if I can I do it? I can't do it over here. Okay, so the thing we were looking at earlier with the Chinese defense minister, his speech, I put it in the chat earlier, and I'm going to put it in again right now for anybody who's interested in looking at that. Maybe you might have missed out on me reading it earlier. I suggest you give it a look-see. I have 2 links that I'm going to actually give you guys to look at. One's a condensed version, and one is the speech in its entirety. I suggest everybody read it in its length. However, there are certain ones that are. I mean, the other link is more condensed version. Just get my stuff up here. Where's it going with this? Oh, I got lost.
Sound like me. It's all good.
There's so much stuff open. I'm like, what am I doing? Look at all this stuff. All right, I'm sending you the link so I can copy it from my phone and stick it into the chat because I can't put it in my cell phone StreamYard.
Oh, isn't that so annoying?
Yes, and that's where I just was like, whoa, where's my head? My head's got so much information crammed into it right now, and I'm trying to keep everything in order and not, and know my family's safe and thinking to myself about their locations and where they're at and who they're around and all this stuff. It's just a million things going through my head.
Absolutely. No, I'm right behind you. How can you? This is exactly what they want. What I was telling everyone downstairs too before when everyone was getting ready to get up and go to the hospital. It was just really chaotic. I'm just like, everyone needs to just like take a breath and just breathe and be calm. Because that's exactly what they want. You don't make rational decisions when you're in a chaotic frame of mind. So when you see the chaos coming, it's easier to stay calm. It's easier to chill out. But this is the link that Jen's talking about right here, guys. You want to read that? I would suggest everyone read that. It's from 15 years ago, pretty much. And it's pretty much what's could be on the flip side of this. There's so many outlets they could go with this fake pandemic. They could roll in 5G. They could roll in foreign troops, our troops, foreign troops dressed as our troops dressed as foreign troops. You would never know. You wouldn't know. It's ridiculous. But here's something that I want to just share with everyone real quick. Let me just blow that up for you. And this is Matthew, the Bible, obviously, King James. Matthew, this chapter 16, I believe. And we're going to focus specifically right now on one of these. Where the heck did it go? I just had it. Why does this always happen to Steve? Yes. Blah, blah, blah. Dude. All right, I found it. Am I still here? Okay, she muted. That's okay.
You're good.
All right. Whenever you mute, I'm just under the impression that I lagged out. All right, so this is Matthew 16. I already forgot. Matthew 16. We're going to start here on verse 21. From that time forth began Jesus to shew unto his disciples how that he must go into Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed, and be raised again the third day. And then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, Be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. Pretty much saying, I will not let this happen to you. Death, this is death. He's saying he's going to have to die. And Peter's like, I'm not going to let that happen. But Jesus says something interesting. But he turned unto Peter and said, Get behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me, for thou savorest not the thing that be of God, but those that be of men. And that is referring to everlasting life here on earth without crossing into the spiritual realm. Because he's talking about how he's going to have to be killed. And Peter says, I will not let that happen, which is exactly what Lucifer in the garden, and what he was promising. I promise you everlasting life. You shall not die. You shall be as gods. And how'd that really work out for the boys and girls inside the garden? Not too well. And like I said, Jesus comes over here and says, for thou savorest not the things of God, which is savoring the temple between the two temples. What's in between the two temples is your mind, and that will never die, but the physical body of you shall die. And that's exactly what Jesus got upset about. That's what he got upset about. And then he said unto the disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. So we're all going to have to walk in the steps of Jesus at some point. And I think we're getting to the point of the road where we're understanding that this could be the end for us here on this physical plane, which is, at the end of the day, it's not really a big deal if we're hitting the knees and we're getting right with things we should be getting right with. And, the fact that these people are going to offer us a solution that is going to fight off any other disease and could possibly, make your body live here forever, which is exactly what Jesus was talking about. Get behind me, Satan. Because Peter said, I will not let them kill you. But Jesus had to be killed to bring in the forgiveness of the sins of man before, during, and after his life. So I just think that we all have to be thinking about that in reference to, they going to line you up for this ID 2020 thing. They're going to ask you, you got to get this chip or this update or whatever it is. And, I'm going to tell them, get right behind me, because I ain't getting that.
I agree 100%. That's why I told my kids earlier when I talked to them. And when they have their family meeting tomorrow, I'm hoping to be on loudspeaker with them. And they're watching the show right now. But I told them, I said, it's, there's not a lot of time left. And, people just need to stay strong. And the boys are going to become men. I told my son, because he's 30 years old, but he's a man, but he still has a little boy in him a little bit. And I told him, I said, you're going to have to reach down deep and pull out every ounce of the man that I know that's in there and help all of our family get through this, because he's kind of a leader. And, he's got a really good head on his shoulders. He's really good with his hands. He's problem solver as far as, figuring out stuff and building stuff and everything. But, we're going to need each other in the ways of compassion. And my mom is going to eventually break at a certain point. And I already know this. I mean, I know she's listening right now, and she's already an emotional wreck. She's always wore her heart on her sleeve. She's very thin skinned, you might say. And this could, really put her to a certain point once she knows she has no way to contact my sister anymore and my niece and stuff. And, people have an emotional break at that point, and we're going to have to be there for them. And it's going to be hard on us too. But, God's going to be with us the whole way through. And I'm not going to give up my humanity, my heart, my temple to them. And I'm not going to let them take none of my family neither.
Absolutely not.
Start thinking about these hard decisions that we might have to make at some point. Even if it's not tomorrow or the next day or next month. I've always known this ever since I started this journey, that at some point it would get to this. What would I do? I've already thought it all out. I thought every scenario, every worst case scenario, and put myself in each one. Oh, what's this say? I missed that one.
Back and forth. Robert Owen says, the next is the chip to trap your very soul, the mark of the beast, which is, prophesized in the Bible. Just going to limit you to buy, sell, or trade if you don't get the mark. Just no big deal. I don't want any part of their new scheme. But it's awfully coincidental that the ID 2020 is called the certification mark. And, just for people who think that Steve JMO is just crazy, let's look at this again.
Also, guys, I please share this as much as you can. Is there any way you can email if you have to? Email it to people. Email those two things, the links that I put in about the speech from the Chinese defense minister. Share that as much as you can. Show that to your family. Maybe that'll help them get a better understanding of what's happening here.
Yep. Absolutely. And there's no coincidence that this came out 1 year before the Kobe Bryant incident.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Certification arc. The old mark of the beast. Oh, what do we do? There we go. Can't beat that shit with a stick, people. I wish I could make this stuff up, but yep.
I don't know what's going on with Karen and her kids. I don't know if she shares custody with them. I thought they lived with her. Maybe they were off visiting somewhere and they can't get back now. That's another thing, is that people are stuck over in other countries. They can't fly back in. People who were in Europe for vacations and stuff, down in the Caribbean and everything like that, they can't get home. What are those people to do? They're just stuck there.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's, there's a lot of, I think this is the time of sorrows. What they talk about in Revelations, there's a time of sorrows. I think that we're in the beginning stages of the time of sorrows.
Absolutely.
Can you bring anything up on that? Can you look up the time of sorrows maybe in the Bible or Revelations?
That I can. If we could. Come on, dude. Are you serious? There
All is
we go.
being revealed, guys. All is being revealed, and we're going to see their nasty ass fruits right before our eyes. And I refuse to fly that flag out front. I'm sorry. I'm not flying it out front for a country that's betraying me right now. It's going to betray my family and everybody that I hold dear to me in my life. Everything. My pet. What's going to happen to my pet? What if all this goes down? I mean, I'm just going to have to let my cat go.
I mean, what more? You can't. What are you supposed to do in that situation? I know I got a pet too, and I know that it's gonna be hard to let go of little Delilah, but I'm having a hard time finding this over here. Funeral homes in Pennsylvania. What the fuck am I even on right now? Yeah.
Nobody's there, Steve. Nobody's at the funeral homes. Funerals are canceled.
Oh, here we go. Oh, maybe this is not what we're looking for. Maybe it's blah blah blah. There is no more sea. That's interesting. So Jerusalem, and the God, my Father, great voices from the tabernacle of God. Show their temple. Yup. Blah 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 blah. Show the people of God. Yup. God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, no more sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he sat upon the throne. Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things. I will be his God, and he shall be my son. So I guess that kind of alludes to that before, God comes in and makes everything right. There's going to be a time of tears. There'll be a time of death and sorrow and pain.
Yeah, that's where we're heading into that.
I think we're there right now.
Yeah.
But like he says, after this, he's going to wipe it all clean. Anyone who sticks on his side through this will get the reward that, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy time we live in, but I don't know. I'm starting to get a little tired. I didn't know it was 1 o'clock in the morning.
I know, I can't believe it, but I'm glad we got on here and we got to tell your story of what's going on, and just keep us updated and your families in our prayers. I'm so sorry you guys have to deal with this kind of stuff, and hopefully we can go live again tomorrow, on my channel or Brian's channel or somewhere, and keep this thing going, find out what's going on around.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. Well, technically today where I live, it's 3:21 already. 3:22 is right around the corner, right on the cusp. So if we can stay live as long as we can and try to produce information that is needed right now to people who may not be, fully understanding of what's happening, I feel like this is what we should be doing. And, once we start to see what's really happening, it could be time to hit the road. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But where to go beats me, man. If everywhere's locked down, I don't know. I just don't know. But all right, I think we're gonna wrap this up with a little Destiny Lab song. This one's called The Battle Between. We'll get into that in just a second. Let me just get all these up. But I got a bunch of tabs open that I didn't get into tonight. So I'm gonna I'm not gonna exit everything I have open. I'm gonna end the stream, and then tomorrow, hopefully, when I open my laptop, this will all still be here.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can just pick up right where we left off, because I didn't get anything that Donald Bump said today, or
Yeah, I
the
don't even know anything he said today at all. Neither. I haven't even looked.
Chet Hanks. We'll break him a new asshole tomorrow, and he can deem himself lucky he didn't get the wrath of fucking JMO in 69 tonight. So he should count his fucking blessings if he has any left. It's ridiculous. But is there anything you wanna say before we get on out of here? We're gonna go head over to Brian and Karen's after this if they're still live. I'm sure they are. We've only been going for an hour and a half, and I'm sure they got a lot of things, and maybe I'll call in or see what's going on over there. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. But yeah, if you want to say a couple things before we get out of here, the floor is all you.
I just want to say that in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, at the end of the movie when they're tied to the pole and they're opening the ark, and the evil or whatever is going to come out and do away with the bad people there in the scene, and he's telling her, close your eyes, Miriam, don't look at it, keep your eyes closed, don't let it in, don't, no matter how bad you want to turn and look and see what's going on, don't look. And I think that's what we're all trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. I know what they're up to, and but I'm not watching this stuff. I'm not tuning in to see what the latest numbers are. And oh my God, did you hear they said this? I hear they say that. I'm getting my information through people. But I'm just saying, guys, don't get yourself so sucked into it, even though we're talking about it and the probable things that could happen as far as outcomes to this whole event. But don't let it into your temple. Don't let it into your soul.
Absolutely. And that just reminds me of Sodom and Gomorrah, when God sent fire and brimstone down from heaven, which is evident. They have sulfur balls you could find there. By the way, if anyone hasn't seen that video, maybe we'll get that queued up tomorrow. But just ironically, there is a statue of a woman in the middle of the desert, which is a pillar of salt. And if you read the Bible, I think it was Abraham. I might be wrong right now, but his wife turned around when God literally told him to keep running, don't turn back. She turned back and looked, and she turned into a pillar of salt. It's ridiculous. And I'm pretty sure that was Abraham. If I'm mistaken, someone in the chat who's more well-versed in the Bible than I am, please correct me if I'm wrong. But it was early on in the Bible. It might have been in Genesis where this happened. And yeah, she looked back at the city that was getting destroyed, and
it destroyed her.
She turned to a pillar of salt, which still stands to this day in the middle of the desert, And it's all just one big fucking made up story to all these scientists and these not antichrist, what are they called? Atheists. It's all just one big story. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. But yeah, we're gonna get on out of here, guys. Just keep the spirit of the Lord with you in these hard times. That's all you can really, really do right now. Just keep the space between the temples pure. Don't get the mark. Tell Satan to get behind you, and people you love might not fucking go down the same route you're going. So it's gonna get bumpier. This is just a speed bump from what's to come. In my full opinion, this is not fear. This is just something talking outside of me. I didn't put the monologue in here. Someone upstairs did.
Yeah, and when you can see their MO, you can see where the hell this is all going. And we just read earlier their modus operandi.
Absolutely. But I think we're going to close it out. Jen, thanks for coming. We'll definitely have to link up again tomorrow, whether it's here, whether it's on your channel. Maybe you're back up. Maybe we'll see what Brian's up to. But if everyone here in the chat wants to go over to Karen B's channel, maybe while this is playing, I'll plug it in the chat a couple times. But we're going to head over there and hang out in their chat and see if we can, get some more people to, collaborate on what's happening today and what's happening around the world. Because this is not just a localized thing. This is worldwide, because the world is flat and wide. It's not a global thing. We threw that out years ago, people.
All right, guys, I'm out. Love ya.
Love you too.
Parents.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Until next time, this is Steve JMO. I'm out of here. God bless all of you. And like I said, don't let the light of the Lord get out of you. You know, if you feel like you're getting close to God, you're on the right path. Just drop the deception, drop the sin, take the Band-Aid off, and let God understand you or take you in for who you are today, and He'll bring you out a new and better person, in my opinion. So that's all I got to say. I'm getting out of here. God bless y'all. And this is going to be Destiny Lab, The Battle Between. It's a great song, great listen. I advise everyone to stay around, and everyone in the chat, have a good night. God bless y'all.
Angels left their first estate to cohabitate with women in the days before the flood. And one of the things that they did was they taught mankind enchantments and root cuttings, this drug-related sorcery, the kind of things that you associate or connotate with classical witchcraft.
In every civilization, in every ancient culture, they have practiced divination. In every country and nation, humans have tried to reach the other side through meditation. Rituals and incantations, astral projection, altered state communications, summon-induced hallucinations, distort perceptions, ingesting mushrooms, psilocybin, salvia, ayahuasca, DMT, the cutting of roofs, the pharmacia, sorcery and shamanism, psychics with visions, channeling beings to possess them. They interact through invitation, spirits and demons who are familiar to the victims, entering those who don't resist them through open doorways, connections from other dark dimensions. They fabricate apparitions based on expectation to people open to suggestion. A hocus-pocus fascination, presenting false illuminations with one motivation: to present an imitation, an altered explanation, poisonous intoxication. The serpent's venom's like a weapon that can change and mutate to always keep you guessing. 1/3 of the angels fell, good versus evil, heaven and hell. And now we're caught in a battle between the night and the darkness and places unseen. 1/3 of the angels fell, good versus evil, heaven and hell. And now we're caught in a battle between the night and the darkness and places unseen. Since the beginning, their plan never changes, but they adapt to the beliefs of the ages. In every culture and race, see their traces erased, all their origins lost in the mazes of time. All these places aligned with the similar tactics, interactions with mass-based malevolent beings, creeping in with enchantments while seeming benevolent, teaching advancements to end with their origins evil in nature. This dangerous behavior enforced human labor, strung by the fingers, the strings of the puppeteer, pulling the leaders, led by the king of fear. Follow procedure, the spread of their greed, feed sneaky creatures deeper and deeper. Wolves among sheep that make signs off of wonders for wicked, adulterous generations who seek for a secret and reap what they sow as their sorcerers conjure elixirs, and spirits who speak through their sages and soothsayers, mystics and wizards and pastors. Leaders pour poison down throats of their listeners, twisting through words and their messages, offering counterfeits, magically turning their staffs into serpents, worshipping false gods on purpose. 1/3 of the angels fell, good versus